Hi, Steve here, and this is my weekly diet update. Okay, as you can see, I haven't made much progress since last week. I'm down about 2 pounds, but my body fat percentage is still 24. It says my fat mass is down a couple pounds from last time. I know this machine at my work isn't 100% accurate, but I'm just gonna go by it. Okay, so this week I've stuck to my diet and I went to the gym every day after work. And I haven't had soda at all in 4 weeks. So I haven't had soda for 4 whole weeks. And I'm not really craving it at all. Every once in a while I'll get an unsweetened tea. I think the tea might be helping with the soda craving because I don't have any cravings for soda anymore. Okay, anyway, on to the fun stuff. This week I will be sharing my PlayStation 2 collection. And I was never really a PlayStation 2 guy back in the day. I had my Dreamcast for a while and then I moved into Xbox, the original Xbox. And I spent a lot of time with that thing, so I never really played the original PlayStation much. My brother had one and a lot of my friends had them, so I would play it here and there, but I never got one up until maybe about 10 years ago. This little mini PlayStation 2. And I've acquired a few games over the past 10 or 15 years. Here's the controller. I got this at a Goodwill for $3. It looks like an official PlayStation controller, but it something's off about it. I don't know what it is. Okay, so I have ATV OffRoad Fury 2. I remember this being a fun little racing game, and there was a fun little free play mode where you could ride the ATV around in an open environment and do tricks and just have free play, and you don't have to worry about breaking your back like in real life with the ATV. Here's Gran Turismo 3. I'm not really into racing games, but I hear this is one of the best ones, and it was at the Goodwill for a couple of bucks. So we got that. Resident Evil Dead Aim. This game's actually pretty good. It's a third-person shooter Resident Evil game. It goes to first-person perspective when you're aiming, and I think you can even use a light gun or a zapper with it. But I just played it with a controller. But it's a pretty fun. Little Resident Evil game. I think a lot of people don't know about it, and if you played through it, you'd see it's a lot more like current Resident Evil games. It's a lot more action, but there are puzzles and stuff to solve. I think it's on a big cruise luxury ship. Here is Resident Evil 4 for PlayStation 2. I originally had it on GameCube, but then I got it on this because I knew it had extras. It doesn't look quite as good. And I noticed little things different from this and the other one, but well, once you get into it, it's just as fun as the GameCube version. And it doesn't look quite as detailed as the GameCube version, but still, this is probably my favorite. Well, of course, it's my favorite PS2 game. It's my favorite game ever. Here's Silent Hill 3. I've never beaten this. I got maybe halfway through it. The thing I like about this game is it has a music CD. I really like the music on this game. Alone in the Dark for PS2. I don't know why I have this. I don't know why I spent $12 or $13 on it back in the day. And I never really spent much time with it. Here's Extermination, another scary survival horror type Resident Evil game. It was 50 cents at the music shop. I don't know, 95 cents at the music shop, so I got it. And I have some games that don't have their proper case. I have Fire Pro Wrestling Returns, Fatal Fury Battle Archives Volume 1. This has Fatal Fury 1, Fatal Fury 2, Fatal Fury Special, and Fatal Fury 3, I believe. I liked Fatal Fury a lot back then. I think it was probably my second favorite fighting game after Street Fighter. Here's Bully for PlayStation 2. That's a game my wife liked to play. And Simpsons Road Rage. I thought this game was rare, so I got it, but I don't think it's that rare. Music Maker. I like music making software, so I picked this up. It was $2 at the music store, but I haven't tried it yet. Batman the video game, Lego Batman the video game. These games my wife likes. She's beaten all of them, I believe. Jak and Daxter. Looks like a pretty good little adventure platforming game. I think my wife came close to beating it, or maybe she did beat it. I lose track of these things. Here's PacMan World 2. From what we played of this, it looks pretty good, like a little fun Mario type platformer deal. Same with this one, Tak and the Power of Juju. This was cheap at the Goodwill, so we picked it up. Giants Citizen Kabuto. I remember this being like a little adventure shooter game, and it had a lot of humor in it. I remember we enjoyed it, but I can't really remember much about it, I'm sorry. Spider-Man 2. I'm not really into these games, but it was 50 cents. Kingdom Hearts 2. I was never into these games either, but this was 95 cents at the music store. Here's an even better deal I found at the music store. Final Fantasy 12. I can never get into Final Fantasy games, but I hear this one's more real-time action. So maybe if I ever have time, I'll try it. Jaws Unleashed. I had to get this because I'm a Jaws fan. Jaws is my favorite movie. You take control as this shark and go around and mutilate other animals and humans. I kind of like the Nintendo game better actually, but I had to get this because it was Jaws. Half-Life 1 for PS2. I haven't really played through this. I hear it's not a great conversion. I did like the PC version. I beat the PC version and all the little expansion packs, but I haven't played through the PS2 version. Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty. I really want to get into Metal Gear games, but I just don't like them. I was all hyped up for Metal Gear Solid 1, and I tried it, and I thought it was kind of clunky and awkward. I don't know why. And then this one came out, and I tried it, and I didn't like it. And I want to like it. I know there's a lot of creativity put into it, into these games. And I like James Bond movies, and I like Splinter Cell, but I just can't get into these games. And I even tried 3. And I think I played 3 the longest, but I still halfway through, like, I can't handle this. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. I was never really into these, but I got it for my collection. I don't know why. It might be because it was like $1 at the thrift store. 007 Everything or Nothing. I think I've talked about that before. This is my favorite Bond game. Or this one. This one might be my favorite as well, From Russia with Love. Scarface. I got that for 95 cents at the music store. I heard a buddy at work talking about this, and he was talking it up, and it sounded really good, so I picked it up for 95 cents. Star Wars Battlefront, the original. This is a lot of fun to play. I got Tekken Tag Tournament. That one was 50 cents. I like these Tekken games. Here's Pride Fighting Championships. I loved Pride back in the day. It was before UFC bought it out, so it was just a mixed martial arts out of Japan. They fought in a boxing ring, and I remember it was really good entertainment back then. It was really brutal though. Maybe it's better that it doesn't exist anymore. And then I have the Mortal Kombat collection here, which consists of Mortal Kombat Deception, Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks, and Mortal Kombat Armageddon. I think those are the later 3 that were released on the PS3. I liked Mortal Kombat Deception the best. I remember there was a training mode on it that was like an adventure story mode, and I thought it was pretty fun. And then the fighting is pretty good too. And then I have Fatal Fury Battle Archives Volume 2. I didn't have as much experience with these games, but they may have been after my time. It has Fatal Fury Real Bout Special, and Real Bout 2. I didn't know Fatal Fury went on that long. I love Fatal Fury though, and I played through all these and beat them. Here's another anthology of one of my favorite fighting game series, World Heroes. I always liked World Heroes. It has World Heroes 1, World Heroes 2, World Heroes Jet, and World Heroes Perfect. Anyway, but this is a fighting game, just another Street Fighter ripoff like every single Neo Geo game. But all of those games were really good, so I can't knock them. Especially this one. This one was pretty much just Street Fighter, but the characters are from different time periods, and they're all based on historical figures or fighters from the past. So I don't know if there's like a time travel thing going on in this, but I know there's a Genghis Khan type character you can play, and Eric the Viking, and a Joan of Arc. It kind of is like Bill and Ted's Adventure, the fighting game. Anyway, then there's a Hattori Hanzo, and what else? Oh, Rasputin is one of the fighters, the Mad Monk. A lot of the characters, I don't think their actual name. They kind of do a variation on it, but you can tell all of the people the characters are based on. But anyway, I like these World Heroes games. Street Fighter Anthology with all of the Street Fighter Alphas 1 through 3, and then Gym Fighter. I don't really know much about Gym Fighter, but I really like Street Fighter Alpha 1 and 2. I guess 3 was alright too. I didn't care much for the music in Street Fighter Alpha 3. I like more of the rock, jazzy music that was in Alpha 1 and 2. Street Fighter EX3. I haven't really put much time into this. This is a 3D polygonal Street Fighter game like Tekken. I like the first one on PlayStation 1, so I picked this up, but I never really played it much. Street Fighter Anniversary Collection. This one has Street Fighter 2 and Street Fighter 3. It has Super Street Fighter 2. I think it has a mixture of every single Street Fighter 2 variation. And then it has Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. So that's a good disc to have. And then King of Fighters Maximum Impact. It sounds like a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. But this was a 3D fighting game made way back then. All the King of Fighters were always 2D, but this one was 3D. I think the new one that just came out recently is 3D. But I think that's the first one since this, and I enjoyed this. I don't really remember much about it, but it's got all those Fatal Fury and Art of Fighting characters in it, so I liked it. Anyway, that's about it for this week. I'll be back next week with my Farmer's Tan and my diet update. So have a good week. Bye.